Hello, welcome to Shad Life, where I have over 40 years of BMX and mountain biking experience, and I like to share it with you awesome people. Today, we're going to do some riding of the new state all road. And yeah, if you haven't noticed, it's a little wintry out, but it's a nice day. It's right around 31 degrees, and I have studded tires on here, so I swapped out the tires. These are the 700C wheels. Put my studded tires on here. We're gonna see how this goes. I need to go to one of my favorite bike shops called Angry Catfish to get some parts and some tires and things like that. And I decided I'm gonna go ride there on this bike. Bring in my GoPro. Let's do it. I'm used to riding a fat bike in this stuff, not a skinny tire bike. But I have studs, and these are winter dedicated tires, so we'll see how it goes. Ooh, it's bright out. Beth is coming with me, so I'll wait for her. She's riding her fat bike. Okay, so when it's hard pack, things are fine. But you get in and see where you get this darker kind of crunchy snow watch right here. So if I go through here, maybe here, yeah, it totally washes out on me. so I just have to be aware of that. But on this more packed stuff, it rides plenty fine. I even let some air out to have softer tires, but it seems like this chunky stuff wants to steer me around. So if I was to compare whether I'd rather be riding a fat bike right now or this skinny tired bike with studs, I'd take fat bike all day long. Here we go again. Of course, Beth is up there on her fat bike having a blast. And she's got studs and fat tires. Okay, so we're gonna get off the roads and onto the bike path. See how this goes. Ooh, nice headwind. Oh yeah. It's a little, I don't know what to say. Like I'm moving all over the place. Feels kind of like riding gravel in like the looser sections, to be honest. I'm out in the wind again. So this part's paved, or cleared, so it's a lot easier to ride on. You can hear the studs a little bit. Don't know if you can hear that in the GoPro. So this is Minnehaha Parkway in Minneapolis. This will take us almost all the way to Angry Catfish. Riding on this unplowed, just foot traffic packed area, and it's not bad. It's bumpy, but I have plenty of traction. Still would rather be on a fat bike. Beth is behind me. So my chain came off going over some of the bumpy stuff. It's all good. My chain came off and I had to put it back on. It came off over the bumpy stuff because yeah. Yeah. That's pretty typical of a drivetrain like this that isn't really designed to be like heavily off-roaded. But I have options on the derailleur to set it up tighter if I need to. So being that this is a $899 bike, doesn't come with the highest level components, and so the derailleur doesn't have a clutch, nor does it have like a nicer front chainring like a narrow wide like you'd expect from Wolf Tooth or even SRAM and Shimano. So those are upgrades you can always make if you want your chain to stay on better. There is an adjustment on the derailleur. I'll play around with that to see if I can get better tension to handle the bumps, especially if I decide to put the Meteor tires on the other wheels and go single tracking with it. I'm going to definitely want the chain to stay on. And Beth has the ideal setup right now. Fat bike with studs. Did you just give me the hang loose symbol? So comfort wise, this bike is pretty much spot on for my height. It's size small, and on the down tube it says 47, which would be the centimeters. And you'll typically size like an all-road or gravel bike a few centimeters lower than you would like a road bike, unless it's a more aggressive sloping top tube road bike. The cool thing is, if I want to throw a dropper on this, I'll have plenty of room to do that. And then it'll be better for off-road. And ride and handling, all spot on. It's got a higher stack height, so the front end is pretty tall. And I know I mentioned I'd probably put a shorter stem on it, but I don't think I'm going to. This stem feels fine. And when I'm standing and pedaling, I have just about the right amount of cockpit. If I put a narrow stem on for standing, the handlebars would be almost smacking me in the knees. So I think I'll be leaving this stem on. I'm plenty comfortable, and I still have the option to flip the stem. So I believe it has a 7 degrees rise or drop. So if I flip it, I can get the 7 degrees rise. That'd be a change in 14 degrees to do the math. But we'll see. I kind of like this feel right now. So there you go. We made it to Angry Catfish. So I'm gonna go in and buy some stuff. We're gonna lock up here. But airplanes always get in my videos. But it was a fun ride. I enjoyed this ride. So on the way back, I'm gonna lower the air pressure a little bit, see if that helps with some of the looser snow. Hey Beth.
Hey there.
I love this place. Check it out. Time to do some shopping. Okay, on the way home now. I did take out some PSI. I don't know how much because I just did it by hand. Don't have a pressure gauge, but softened up the tires a bit, and they're doing a lot better in the looser stuff, like what's up here. They don't get pulled around and tracked as much. So lower PSI is definitely the trick. I know I started with them at around 40, so I'll check with the digital gauge when I get back, and then I'll make sure I post those numbers on the screen right here for you to see. So this is the part where my chain came off, right here. Let's see if it's improved with lower tire pressure. What was that? Oh. Yeah, the air pressure thing really makes a difference. Feels less bumpy. So 40 psi for these conditions is too much for sure. And I feel more controlled too, like less sliding around. So kind of crazy how much difference tire pressure makes. Like, it's definitely something, whether you're mountain biking or gravel or whatever you're doing, this kind of crazy stuff. Definitely play around with air pressure, find out what works for you, because it's probably one of the biggest factors on how your bike's going to ride on different terrains. Well, there we are, back where we started, and it is in the shade now. As where when we started, this was all in the sun. But I'm pretty impressed, actually. The bike isn't as dirty as I expected it to get. These tires, which are the Schwalbe winter tires, they're studded, Winter Plus they're called. They must not pick up the crud and send it up like a lot of tires do. I don't know if it's because of the shape of the tread or the siping or why that is, but they don't kick up the water as much as other tires I've had do. So great tires. That was fun. One thing I did notice is the way this was wrapped. There's something sticking up here, and I don't know if it's the wrapping or something underneath here, or the way the cable comes through, or what it is. I think it's the cable, the way it was fed through. Created a little lump there. So if you remember in my original video on this bike, I was talking about how poorly conformed that is. When you look at this side, it actually looks kind of nice. That has to do with the way it was put together and assembled. I actually got new grip tape for this bike, so I'll get a chance to take that all apart and correct that. It was kind of annoying because my hand pressure right on my palm was right on that lump right there. And it was really annoying going that distance. I'm glad I realized that now and can correct it. So if I ever go on a longer ride, I don't have to deal with it. Shifting feels pretty good. It shifts pretty good. I wouldn't say it's as good as some of the SRAM or Shimano stuff I've ridden, but it's really close. I mean, it's for the cost, it shifts better, and it certainly shifts a lot better than, you know, really low end, you know, department store stuff, or like Shimano tourney or whatever like that, right? It's not that bad, but it's much closer to the higher end stuff than it is the lower end stuff, but it's not perfect. So but for the cost, I give it, you know, 1.5 thumbs up. Seat, I did ride with this funny seat. I mean, it's squishy and comfortable, but I know on hot days, long rides, this seat will drive me nuts, so I'll definitely switch that out. I did put the water bottle cages on. I ordered those with the bike, and I haven't switched out to the carbon fork yet. I'm gonna wait until I'm done riding in this kind of crap before I do that. But there you go, my first ride on the state. I'm impressed. I actually am. The bike felt really good, felt very compliant, which steel normally does, and it just, like, the geometry, the handling, all of that was spot on for me. And I even think I might be leaving the stem on here The only thing I might do is I can flip it if I want to raise the bars a little bit, but I don't even know if I want to do that. So we'll see. Awesome. I'm gonna take this helmet off. I appreciate your support from my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.